As I finished watching the video of mine, I got called to speak again. But this time, simply to say my gratitude. You know, I've endured a lot within this journey of mine that I have to say thank you for. Thank you to those who have made me suffer. Thank you to those who have played a part in sabotaging me, taking advantage of my energy, my frequency, my essence, and the value that I bring to the table as a man. I think there's anywhere to start with saying thank you, but thank you in general just serves as thank you. But the truth is, I'm not sure where I'm headed, but I know where I'm going. Because I know what I want to do with my life. I know who I want to become. And I have an idea of how I want my life to look, but what it's really gonna look like, I don't really have control over. It's the honest truth. Over the past weekend, I've been starving, bro. In some ways, it's been good because it's led me to fasting more from food, which I've already been doing, but just in my own way. I have my own nutrition that I like, but when hard times come, you have to endure the suffering, bro. There's not much you can do about it. Unless you want to go steal from another man or do things to go against yourself and God, all you can do is endure the pain. You can't even, there is no exit from suffering. Suffering never ends. At some point, you're just able to make it better, and how much you can make it better is up to your mental capacity to take, pain. For me, living in a world where just being a person of truth, it often, it separates you from 90% of the world, because most of the world is not living in its truth. And when you're living like that and you don't connect with a lot of people, you can't depend on anyone for anything. It's just a matter of the fact. You can't depend on anyone for anything. You can't really trust anyone for anything. You're just left alone. You're just left alone, And there's not much. The one thing I've been learning to do, though, is to not let my financial struggle lead me to being something or someone that will eventually destroy the core of who I already am. You know, they say money is the root to all evil. I don't know. Don't we live in evil already? This whole world as it exists, isn't it evil? Um, Nevertheless, unless you don't want to be part of this world, you don't need money. But as long as you physically exist in this world, you gotta have money. You gotta have money. You can't get through this world without money. It's a material world. It's the world. That's how this world was shaped. You know, and for me, I've been getting through a phase of, reevaluating myself on what I know I'm worth. For a long time, I disassociated myself from money because I didn't want my value to be attached to anything monetary. And I found more than value in my being than what money could bring. To the point where, I started to feel this hatred from a collective energy of the world. Even when I won't have any money, it's just like I could feel this energy of people around me just like envying my being. And I realized like a lot of people's problem in this world is not money. Money isn't my problem either. Right now my problem is I don't have a problem, but I would say what like the thing I should focus more of my attention and energy on is trust. Trusting in myself, trusting in God within, because I've seen God work in my life in mysterious ways, in ways that I can't fathom. And the truth is, I've developed way more trust for God over the past decade or whatever, but more trust is required of me to develop. And I say that because when I go low on funds financially, like that's like my financial life is the only part that I have to work on now. Basically, like that's just how to put it. Like having a stable financial life is my priority right now. Because I've worked on myself, I've worked on my mental, I've worked on, you know, how I love, how I show up for people, how much I show up. I'm still working on those things, but mainly my financial life is something I have to stabilize because I don't have anybody in my life, bro. I don't have anybody. It's been like this for years. Literally, it's been like this for years. For maybe a quarter of a year, I spent around certain family members that looked out for me. Like my father, like how can I even say? Can you even say my father looked out for me? Like Jesus, okay, my father looked out for me, but it wasn't easy. It took it took a lot of forcing him to accept his son. Eventually, you know that broke loose because you can't force a man to accept himself. Eventually, he's gonna reject himself because he never accepted himself for himself. He accepted himself for other people. And if he can accept himself for those other people, that means he could change for those other people at the same time. But I haven't had anyone in my life for the longest. It's been just me. Once again, I'm stop talking about this chick too because now I'm learning I'm gonna have to erase her completely of my story and my story, because I just get tired of talking about her. You know, it's so deep that it's annoying. You know, Pete, like sometimes I try to keep it at the surface, but there's no surface level about what I experienced being with that chick, especially over the past year. Like there is no surface level about it, none. A lot of times I try to keep my head on a swivel because I'm not, like, nothing is actually wrong with me mentally, but because of the things that I've endured from what sh- from the action she took towards me, truly mentally I could have been in a hospital, which is really where she sought to put me. She sought to put me in a mental hospital. Like, you know, but like I said, I'm getting tired of talking about this chick. And like for the last time in my life, I'm gonna put this in the hands of God. And I'm even gonna say this as I make this video, that I pray, I declare and I decree in the name of love, in the name of truth, in the name of high vibrational frequencies and energies that exist within this Triniverse of ours, that everything that this girl has ever done to me be exposed fully, and that karma be served for it. It doesn't get any better than that, you know. I don't have anything else to say about this chick. I had to think about it fully. You know, a part of me wanted to, like, I almost dove really deep into like reenacting the pain and the suffering that I experienced by wanting to talk about certain parts of the story of what I experienced, and I realized it's not even worth it. Because God already knows the truth. You know, my divine creator, her divine creator, our divine creator has seen it all, you know, play itself out. And God knows what part I played and what truth I told and what lies I told, you know, like, so now I'm really leaving it all in the hands of God, and I'm praying that once again all karma will be served, you know, and I'm just gonna move on for myself, grow and become better, and just open up a new page. Because I'm tired of what I've experienced over the past year, and it's almost like what I've experienced has isolated me from myself. Like I lost myself. I lost myself trying to be there for someone else.